Now that we've established our sum and difference identities, let's talk about how to actually make use of them. So I'd like to consider the exact value of the cosine of 75 degrees. 75 degrees is not a unit circle angle. However, if we can express 75 degrees in terms of a sum or difference of unit circle angles, then we're going to be in good shape. Now, trying to keep it as straightforward as possible, we could grab two quadrant 1 angles in the form of 45 degrees and 30 degrees. So, if we want the cosine of 75 degrees, we can express this as the cosine of 45 degrees plus 30 degrees, which is, for all intents and purposes, the same as saying alpha plus beta. So because we have the cosine of alpha plus beta, we can use the cosine of a sum formula for this. So cosine of a sum, we start by simply recopying down cosine of alpha. Second thing that gets copied down is always cosine of beta. What's next will either be a plus or a minus. Cosine is contrary, so that'll be a minus. And since we've already used both cosines, the next two things I'm going to copy down will both be sines. Every single one of these ratios can come from the unit circle. The cosine of 45 degrees would be root 2 over 2. The cosine of 30 degrees would be root 3 over 2. Minus. Sine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. And the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. Multiplying these fractions together, root 2 times root 3 will be root 6, and 2 times 2 in the denominator will be 4. Minus, numerator is root 2 times 1, that'll be root 2. Denominator is 2 times 2, that's 4. These radicals cannot be combined because they are not like radicals. So final answer for this one would be root 6 minus root 2 all over 4. However, this isn't the only way that we can express 75 degrees as a sum or difference of angles. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that somebody else tries this with 120 degrees minus 45 degrees. Let's see if we get the same result. So in this regard, the cosine of 75 degrees is expressible as the cosine of 120 degrees minus 45 degrees. Which means that this is now taking the form alpha minus beta. So with that in mind, the order will be cosine of the first angle. Second thing is always cosine of the second angle. Cosine is contrary, so we'll see a plus. And the only things that we haven't used at this point are the sines of these two angles. Oops. That looks sloppy. It's going to be okay. So all of these ratios can come directly from the unit circle. Cosine of 120 degrees is negative 1/2. Cosine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. Plus, sine of 120 degrees is root 3 over 2. And the sine of 45 degrees is root 2 over 2. Now if we simplify algebraically as we did up above, this would be at negative root 2 over 4 plus root 6 over 4, which is exactly the same as what we got by using the sum identity. Numerator just happens to be written in the opposite order, but that's fine.